In today's Tim's Tips episode, we're going to be discussing the difference between a top handle, a rear handle, and a bow guide. Hi, I'm Tim Ard. I want to discuss the differences between a top handle and a bow guide. A lot of people have never even seen or heard of a bow bar or a bow guide that went on larger saws back years ago. And I find very few arborists as well as loggers today that have ever used one or seen one. But there's something very, very similar in a top handle saw and a bow guide. How many of you have actually used a bow bar, a bow guide? So many times today, all you see are the aunts and uncles and cousins of those who had them in the logwoods years ago. And now they're basically used for firewood around the house, a lot of times with chainsaws with very little safety features like chain brakes and reduced kickback saw chain. But it's a very useful tool. In other words, it was designed mainly for bucking up smaller pulpwood, being able to go through logs without too big a diameter, but to be able to go through a log, it can't pinch because it closes inside the bow guide, and it keeps you out of the dirt. You can work from stand-up position all the way down to the dirt. Bow guides were a great tool for firewood and an absolutely awesome tool for bucking up wood in the woods or logs in the woods. But something happened. Training started to erode, and we had a lot of situations to where people were not aware of the kickback potential of the bow guide. You see, if you start to really think about the potential for kickback on the bars of today, straight bars of today, it's only just a couple of inches. But when you look at a bow guide that's got 8 to 12 inches of upper corner, it pretty much increases the chances of kickback greatly. Bow guides were everywhere in professional business, especially, until people started to use them for the wrong applications. Started to fell trees one-handed pushing, or ended up with situations of trying to limb with it. And in many cases didn't maintain them, and you had the spurs off the lower and the top side, which were taken off, and that really increased the chances of that bow guide getting away from you. It's been probably around 15 to 20 years. Bow guides have been pretty much kept out of the professional logging business because of the high rate of injuries that took place. There's still a couple companies that produce them. Mainly what I've seen them for is Christmas tree harvesting with special guards and two spurs. But there are situations that are still used in firewood. Very few manufacturers. Liability and injuries have basically taken them out of the picture. Insurance companies that insure loggers won't usually touch them if you're operating a bow guide. Top handle saws today are a really cool tool. In other words, you have your hands are in a position and you can be able to work in tight spaces, and it evens out the weight load on your arms as you're working, which that makes a big difference in reducing fatigue. But same situation is starting to happen that happened to the bow guide. Operators are starting to use them one-handed. They think because there's a top handle up here that it's designed to be used with one hand. But you can pretty much check with any manufacturer. They're not going to tell you it's a one-handed chainsaw. The liabilities are too great because the one-handed chainsaw incidents are very high. You see, the big difference between the two is when you start to think about one-handed operation, you have all of that weight goes on one arm. And there's sometimes that it's on the limb or the trunk, that's for sure. But when you start going back and forth, you have very little control over the saw. Actually, top handle chainsaws are designed with that front handle also that comes down either to the side or wraps around so that you can use it very maneuverably but still very secure and solid. You see, it doesn't change your reach. As you start to look at different positions with the saw, it basically still has your reach that you'd have with one arm. but it evens out the weight load. So your fatigue factor is much less. You can be able to maneuver the saw, still thinking about your positions. You really don't want to be directly in line with the bar, but with slight turns, you can be able to work left and right side of the tree very easily. It's not necessary to extend yourself. Move your position, either your bucket or your climbing system, to be able to get in a position where you can operate two-handed. You see, when you start to use the long handle in the rear, and this is the same basic model, but has the extended handle, it more or less gives you all the weight, or the majority of weight goes to your left hand on the front handle. So that's the part that starts to fatigue first. But now you start to think about here is you still have a lot of ability to control the saw. It gives you a lot more, I guess you'd say, balance when you start to use it. Whereas if you take a hand off, it can go anywhere very quickly. But it's controllable, much tighter spots and in different positions with both hands on the handles. But as I mentioned with the bow guide, the situation is starting to be that more and more people are becoming injured one-handing the saw, having a reactive force, or end up with a stress or a fatigue to the arms, and all of a sudden something gets away from you. And in many times the actual limb might move as you cut. In other words, it breaks away, grabs the saw, takes it down one-handed to a leg or another arm. Also, I see a lot of people that hold the limbs and try to cut. Very easy to have something bounce over and get to a body part. So it's not a good idea to think about one-handed operation in all cases. I was looking at some statistics. OSHA and ANSI standards, like the Z133 and the OSHA requirements for tree care and landscape, they say no one-handed saw use. So when you can, I can admit there are occasional times that, extended right hand with a saw is doable. You can get into a very safe position, but there's still a higher chance of fatigue factor and limited safety. But cross-body and left-handed is never a good idea. It's almost impossible to stop and put yourself out of harm's way as you start to think about operating with a left hand or cross-bodied. You look at some of the major tree care companies, a reason for being released if they catch you operating the chainsaw one-handed. It's so important that you think through that for your safety. The reason why that's the case is the statistics are high. Holding a limb with one hand and cutting with the other, growing rapidly because of videos that you see on YouTube, and people think they control it. It's just a matter of time though, and then something's gonna happen. It's going to take top handles to the same situation as the bow guides, extinct. There's no judging, but statistically, it's just a matter of time before it causes an accident. In that case, knowing better would be a planned event instead of an unplanned event. There will be a lot of crying when top handle saws are eliminated because of insurance concerns. It's best to think about training and practice to put yourself in a two-handed controlled situation. I was reading through some things on the internet regarding injuries that have taken place in tree care business. A study done in 2017 from a Landmark Trading Company, and basically they stated that they found that 60% of practicing arborists identified poor work positioning as the root cause of accidents in the workplace. One-handed chainsaw use came in second place at 24% of those incidents, while less than 5% considered chainsaw kickback as a problem. So the reactive forces of the saw are not as critical as when you have poor positioning, cross-body, one-handed, unstable work platforms. Those kinds of things have really contributed to a lot of the injuries that take place. So I appreciate your time. I hope that you picked up something to think about. Please practice, and also don't forget to wear your personal protective equipment as you operate chainsaws and pole saws too. So it's so important that we think through. Don't let it go the wayside as the bow guide, which is a very useful tool. just because of so many injuries. So it's so important that we think through, reduce those unplanned events, practice and maintain control, two-handed. Hi, this is Tim Ard, and we wish you good sawing.